For years, America's heavy-duty truck market has been locked in an all-out torque war, with every major manufacturer chasing bigger towing numbers and stronger low-end pulling power. But right now, rumors surrounding a massive new GM diesel engine are shaking up the pickup world in a way almost nobody expected. The alleged 8.3-liter MEGAMAX diesel could become the biggest statement General Motors has made in decades, and if you tow anything for a living, you need to hear this, because there's one engineering obstacle that could decide whether this engine ever sees a showroom floor. Diesel truck buyers everywhere have always cared deeply about torque, towing, and durability. And GM already has serious credibility here thanks to the Duramax lineup, an engine family refined over years into something respected for smooth power delivery and genuine long-term reliability. But the segment has never been more competitive, with Ford pushing its Power Stroke lineup and Ram building a loyal following around Cummins' performance. Buyers now expect trucks to tow over 35,000 pounds while staying quiet, comfortable, and efficient. And that pressure appears to be exactly what's pushing GM towards something bigger and far more aggressive. So why does GM need a bigger diesel at all? The current 6.6-liter Duramax is excellent, but rivals have started closing the gap in torque and towing capacity. And GM engineers reportedly concluded that squeezing meaningfully more output out of the existing block would mean running it closer to its limits on every steep grade. Rather than chase incremental gains through tuning alone, insiders believe GM decided the smarter long-term move was a genuine leap in displacement, betting that a larger block gives engineers more room to grow without pushing the engine to its breaking point during everyday towing. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where things get interesting. Official specs remain unconfirmed, but industry chatter suggests the MEGAMAX could push output well past what any factory Duramax has ever produced, with some enthusiasts speculating torque figures could exceed 1,200 pound-feet, though GM has not confirmed anything close to that publicly. If that number holds up even close to accurate, it would put this engine in territory once reserved for medium-duty commercial trucks, not consumer pickups, and it would instantly make MEGAMAX the most powerful factory diesel GM has ever offered in a light-duty or heavy-duty pickup. Here's the twist, though. Bigger doesn't automatically mean better. Ironically, simply growing the displacement can actually work against an engine if the supporting hardware doesn't scale with it. More displacement means more heat, more stress on internal components, and a transmission that has to survive punishment it was never originally designed for. History backs this up too, since several past attempts at oversized diesel engines across the industry struggled with exactly these problems before manufacturers solved them years later. That's exactly the obstacle GM has to solve before MEGAMAX ever reaches production. And it's the reason this project has stayed a rumor for so long instead of an official announcement. That obstacle starts with cooling. An 8.3-liter diesel running sustained towing loads at over 1,000 pound-feet of torque generates enormous thermal stress, the kind that can cook a transmission or warp a head gasket if the cooling system isn't built to match. Experts expect GM to redesign the entire cooling package around this engine: larger radiators, dedicated transmission coolers, upgraded intercoolers, and reworked airflow paths through the front end. Because without that redesign, all that extra torque becomes a liability instead of an advantage. But cooling is only half the equation, because none of it matters if the drivetrain behind the engine can't handle what it's sending downstream. Which brings up something most people overlook. The transmission behind this engine may actually matter more than the engine itself. No diesel this powerful survives long paired with a weak gearbox. And that's why experts expect GM to pair MEGAMAX with a heavily reinforced Allison transmission, one built specifically to absorb repeated high-torque shifts under extreme heat, with stronger clutch packs, upgraded torque converters, and smarter adaptive shift software designed around this engine's specific power curve. If GM gets the engine right but skimps on the transmission, the whole project falls apart in the first year of real-world towing, no matter how impressive the torque numbers look on paper. There's another reason this rumored engine is drawing so much attention, and it has nothing to do with horsepower. Emissions compliance on an engine this large is brutally difficult. Modern diesels already juggle DEF systems, particulate filters, and exhaust gas recirculation, and scaling all of that up to match a bigger block means more heat, more complexity, and more potential failure points, since every added system has to survive the same extreme thermal environment the engine itself is fighting through. Getting Megamax through emissions certification without sacrificing performance may be the single hardest part of this entire project, and it's likely one major reason the engine hasn't launched yet, despite years of rumors swirling around it. So when might we actually see it? Industry watchers believe a realistic production timeline points toward a future model year Silverado HD or Sierra HD debut, though GM has stayed quiet on specifics and has neither confirmed nor denied the engine's existence in any official capacity. Automakers rarely confirm engine programs this early, especially when engineering teams are still finalizing emissions calibration and durability testing. So expect the rumor mill to keep churning, and expect GM to stay tight-lipped for a while before anything becomes official. For contractors, ranchers, and RV owners across the country, none of this is just spec sheet trivia. A truck isn't simply transportation for these people. It's the tool that keeps a business running, or a lifestyle moving. A contractor hauling equipment to a job site, a rancher pulling a loaded trailer up a mountain pass, or a family towing a fifth wheel across the country, all depend on that engine performing exactly when it matters most. And that's the real reason this rumor has people paying attention. Ford and Ram certainly won't sit still if GM launches something this aggressive. Ford could respond by pushing power stroke output even higher, while Ram may lean further into high-output Cummins variants to keep pace and protect its reputation with die-hard diesel loyalists. That rivalry has already produced real benefits for buyers: better cooling systems, smarter towing electronics, and stronger factory warranties. And it's likely to accelerate the moment Megamax rumors turn into anything official, which could ultimately push the entire heavy-duty segment forward faster than any single automaker could manage alone. Reliability may ultimately matter more than any of these headline numbers. Truck buyers today are sharper than ever about repair costs, and a genuinely durable 8.3-liter diesel would need to prove over hundreds of thousands of real-world miles that it can avoid the expensive failures that plague less proven designs. Commercial operators especially care about uptime, since a truck sitting in a shop costs them real money every single day it's off the road. Fuel economy is the other piece people tend to forget about. Diesel prices swing constantly, and commercial users often log enormous annual mileage. So GM will likely lean on variable geometry turbocharging, smarter injection timing, and reduced internal friction to keep efficiency competitive despite the larger displacement. A bigger engine running at lower internal stress can sometimes match or even beat a smaller one on real-world fuel economy over the life of the vehicle, which would be a genuine engineering win if GM manages to pull it off at this scale. There's also a broader industry shift at play here worth understanding. For years, automakers chased smaller, turbocharged engines to chase fuel economy numbers. But heavy-duty buyers have made it clear they care more about durability and effortless power than squeezing out the last mile per gallon. That shift may be exactly why bigger displacement diesels are suddenly back in the conversation across the entire truck industry, not just at GM. Could electrification eventually threaten diesel's dominance in this space? Not anytime soon. Electric trucks still face reduced range while towing, limited charging infrastructure, and long recharge times, so diesel remains unmatched for long-distance heavy hauling. That said, experts believe future diesel engines, Megamax potentially included, may eventually blend in hybrid technology to boost efficiency and torque delivery without abandoning the fundamentals that make diesels so dependable. So here's the bottom line. The rumored GM 8.3-liter Megamax diesel represents more than just another power bump. It's a bet that bigger, smarter engineering can outlast the industry's obsession with smaller, turbocharged everything. If GM actually brings this engine to production anywhere near the numbers people are speculating about, it won't just challenge Ford and Ram. It could redefine what buyers expect from every heavy-duty truck that follows for years to come. The torque wars are far from over, and if these rumors prove even partially true, GM just made its boldest move yet.